Welcome to the revolution. This is a horrible tragedy. It's terrible what happened. The police did everything right. It's happenstance. There's nothing we could have done to improve this situation. It's just terrible. The cops did everything. That's the main point, okay? Now, there was a video that came up where a teacher that was within the building came out and said that she believed the cops were in the building, okay? She believed that the cops were there at the moment. They were trying to help us. And she goes on to say that who's ever saying this, and she doesn't say this specifically, but basically she was outlining the fact that the cops were in there. Now, when we go into the next part of the conversation, we'll realize that there is evidence to show that they were in there, just like that individual who I was talking about earlier, that Border Patrol agent, who said that they came in there, then they retreated. Then they went and sat in the parking lot for 60 minutes, and then they decided, we're still not going to go in until this Border Patrol agent that was off duty went against their orders and went and took him down. Okay, but there is an individual who says that they were in there. It's a very, very, it doesn't have much substance to it to me, because there's already evidence showing that they went in there initially, but then they retreated, pulled out, according to this Border Patrol agent who was there at the time, and then they went back in. So she could be very well referencing the initial part where they went in there before and then actually retreated, because how would she know? She was sitting in a schoolroom by herself with her kids, right? And it's chaos. How would she know exactly what's going on? I'm not saying she's not telling the truth. What I am saying is they went in initially, according to other accounts, then they retreated out, then they went back in 60 minutes later. So that doesn't, disprove anything that we're talking about here. But it does give a talking point to the individuals who are saying that they did everything, nothing could have changed. And this is a horrific event, and we shouldn't be pointing fingers, and maybe we should be looking at policy reform and all these other things, okay? Which isn't wrong in some sense, in the fact that, obviously we have to have a deeper conversation around why these issues are happening. But also, if we have a police force that's sitting there with rifles, get your ass in there and save the kids. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. And we're going to outline an incredible story of a mother who did just that to save her children after being handcuffed by these police officers. Got out of the handcuffs. All right, we're going to talk on that on the next portion of this. So we're going to talk on that mother, because it's truly an incredible, badass mama bear moment. Really, truly one of the heroes of this day was this mother who jumped the fence after being handcuffed, placed on the ground, went in there, got into the building and saved her children, walked out with them. Incredible. We'll discuss more of that detail in a minute here. Okay. So another point to this, though, is to me is like, what would be frustrating is if you were a teacher, like think of a teacher. I feel uncomfortable sending my children I have children. I have children. And when these things happen, right, when the Oxford shooting happened a few months ago, it was much more near me than Uvalde, Texas. It hit really close to home. And so it was really difficult the next day. It's like, it's concerning. I place my child in the care of somebody else, and I'm powerless. And if I'm in a room and something shit like that's happening or going down, I know I can do something about it. But to place your children in a situation like that a day or two after, because again, that collective unconsciousness, that Jungian collective unconsciousness around those days presents itself in copycats. We've seen it when it came down to the Oxford shooting. The days preceding that, there was all the schools in the local area shut down because there was so many threats, so many stupid ass 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds posting on their Snapchat story that they were going to do the same thing, like all this gross disgustingness that was going on after, of all these people threatening to be copycats in this situation. So it's very uncomfortable as a parent to send your child to school after this. Weeks. I still feel like dropped my daughter off at school today. Still feels weird. Don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like being out of the control of my child's safety, right? Especially when these things are happening, and especially when the percentage likelihood that these things will repeat themselves around these dates come up again, right? The likelihood that collective unconscious is coming together and some other super messed up, mentally unhealthy individual who bought $8,700 worth of guns and ammo decides that he wants to put his name up on CNN's light. So they go into the situation, and just the likelihood, the collective unconsciousness is surrounding that action. And then they see the outcome. They see that these people, their names everywhere. They're famous and they're infamous. And when you're in that sick, disgusting, horrific place, it almost becomes romanticized.